What's going on, guys? It's Jay. Welcome back. If you've been here before, if you're new to the channel, man, hit that subscribe button. Stick around. We'll be talking about my methadone experience today. Methadone, man, that's a wild one. Not something to fuck with, in my opinion. I've seen it, quote unquote, help people. Doesn't really help them. They're still just fucking zombies. Their teeth rot out of their face and just, not exactly the picture of health. I don't know if you guys have been around a methadone clinic either, but it's basically just a fucking open drug market. For real, dude. People are trading pills and line and everything. It's just how it is. It's a reality. So, my methadone experience, I've always known, to kind of stay away from it because I've just seen how fucked up it makes people, and they're not really clean. I don't know, too, if y'all have seen people on methadone, they'll get the nods, if their doctor gets them on the right prescription, they're still getting fucked up. So I saw that and I knew that I didn't want that, when I was trying to get clean. So I tried to stay away, and I've always kind of mainly stuck towards the Suboxone route. But so the story I'm about to tell, this one instance, I did end up on methadone. And it was a really fucking low point in my life. This, it sucked, man. I actually just got arrested for some, relatively serious charges involving drugs. It's fucking shitty as fuck. And I knew I had to go to rehab, right? I was the first thing the court looks for is, did you get clean, right? So, basically, first thing I did was get a lawyer. Because, come on, man. That's what you gotta do. First thing, always, you get in trouble, you get a fucking lawyer. Step 2, getting a detox. So, I was doing a lot of drugs at this time, shooting fetty, fucking smoking meth. I was just a total wreck, okay? Meth was involved at this time, too. So, I was not in a good mental state. I was, fucking crazy. Literally, I was crazy. You see a crazy person in, a psych ward, that's, that was me, man, on these drugs. I was out of my mind. I wasn't sleeping. I was just, absolutely fucking crazy. The way I got arrested was, I hadn't slept in, over a week, and, I just, went for a drive, dude, and I was driving, hours and hours, and I had all my drugs with me, got pulled over, and bam, you're fucked. So, anyway, it's time to go to detox, right? It's time to go. I know I have to go. I really don't want to fucking go. Actually, I kind of self-sabotage at this point, too, in my house. I, drilled into a water line. I was trying to, install a water filter in my sink. Classic meth head move. And I just, drilled into the water line and fucking, it was a total mess. We had to shut water off in the house, and it was fucked. So, and this is, right when I'm supposed to be going to detox, literally that day. So I kept pushing it off and not, getting there and calling them yeah, I'm coming. They're calling me every 15 minutes. That's what they do because they want to make sure you're going to come. At the end of the day, they just want your money, but they pretend like they care and they want you to, make it into treatment. Whatever. So finally, I get there, okay? I've been fucking tweaking all day. I'm just so fucked up. I walk in. They do the evaluation or whatever. I had a quarter ounce of meth in my pocket. Forgot about. So obviously they take that and they're like, holy shit. Also, I looked terrible at this time. Talking acne, scars on my face, just skinny, just, fucking awful, man. Awful. So I'm checking into this place. Like I said, they took the meth, whatever. I'm still out of my mind at this point. The reality of the situation hasn't sunk in at this point. The charges I was facing, the fact that I was checking in for real to detox and I had to battle these withdrawals, whatever, hadn't sunk in yet. I get to my room and I think they had TVs, so I flip on the TV. I'm just laying in the bed and I'm whatever. I'm basically up all night. I think I definitely was up all night that night. And the next morning it's time for meds. So they wanted to make me wait to take the Suboxone, even though I knew I would have been straight because I've done it before. I as long as I got 24 hours in between doses, I'm straight. I can take the subs, but they weren't about to do that because I came in all fucked up. So they wanted to make me wait. at the time I was wicked impatient. I woke up and I was like, you know, the reality of the situation sunk in, right? You know, I didn't really sleep that night actually, but either way, around the morning time is like when the reality set in, you know, sun comes up and you're just like, holy shit. Like, I'm starting to feel like shit. So like every fucking junkie and detox, whatever, you know, you shuffle to the med line in the morning. That's what we all do, right? We line up. We're like, give me my drugs, please. So, you know, I'm in the med line, and they won't give me the Suboxone. They said the only thing they'll do for me is put me on a methadone taper because they didn't want me on the Suboxone. You know, that for whatever. They said it was too early, and then, no, you know what? They couldn't get it was like some bullshit. They said they couldn't get a prescription for me. This also, I ended up complaining about this rehab or detox. It was like super fucked up. They like basically were like making up reasons why they wouldn't give me Suboxone. Like they just didn't support, I don't know, Suboxone or whatever. I think because also I'd said I'd been on Suboxone in the past, like off and on it, whatever. So they basically determined, right, that it's like not a good treatment for me, which is bullshit. They like, how can they just decide that, right? So they put me on the methadone in this morning. And so that's the point, right? This is my experience with methadone. They put me on like 40 milligrams, I think was the start of the taper. And the plan was to like taper me off it throughout the 2 weeks of the detox. And then they wanted me to go to their 30-day program after, right? It was like totally on nothing. And I haven't been on nothing in, dude, years. Like I said, I've been off and on Suboxone, shooting dope, whatever. Just a mess. But so they wanted me to fucking kick everything and whatever and go to their, you know, 30-day thing after. And at the time, you know, I kind of felt like I had to. So, like, I agreed because, like I said, I was facing charges and I needed this for court and just, it was time to get clean, right? So, I check into the rehab or whatever. They gave me the methadone, 40 mgs, and does nothing. Like, barely touches me. I'm saying, like, I still got so fucking sick. And they wouldn't up my dose because, like, that's the taper protocol, you know, they'd stick with it. Which is not, dude, this is, how stupid is that? That they make these cookie cutter taper programs that's just one size fits all for everybody. Doesn't make any goddamn sense. We're all different, right? All our bodies are different. All our, like, drug addictions are different. How much we're using. All of these things factor in them. No, they don't fucking, none of that. They don't give a shit, right? They're just like, here, this is the protocol and this is how it's going to be. We don't care if you feel like shit, you know, whatever, this is the protocol. So they had me on this protocol and, you know, I was out of my mind, like I said at this point. Like, I was kind of off the wall. I was arguing with them and they put me on all these fucking psych meds too, man. It was crazy. I'm talking like, I don't even remember the names of them, but I can tell you it was so bad that when I got out and I finally got back to my, like, doctor, who ended up putting me back on Suboxone, he took me off all the shit. He was like, I can't believe they put you on all these fucking meds. Like, this is insane. But so, it was because I was acting crazy. Because I was crazy. Like I said, I hadn't been sleeping. I was doing all these kinds of drugs, dude. I was not in a good mental state. I was fucking acting crazy. But they didn't know how to handle me, basically. So they put me on the stupid methadone protocol. Said I was, like, bipolar, manic, you know, whatever. It's like, nah, dude, I was just fucking smoking meth. And, like, you know, acting crazy. Like, yeah, it might have been, like, manic, but it was drug-induced mania. Like, I wasn't actually mentally ill. But they put me on these serious medications, dude, and had me on this stupid methadone taper. So, every day I'm in there, I'm feeling worse, right? Not sleeping. They're making me go to these classes and just, like, it's just awful. Like, I'm dragging ass. I'm feeling worse and worse every day. It's fucking terrible. And they're pressing me, like, stick with the protocol, you know, because I want to leave, right? I'm talking about leaving, obviously. I'm out of my mind, too. And I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Like, this is bullshit. I'm realizing it's not working for me. But at the same time, like I said, I felt like I had to be there because of the charges I was facing. And, like, I couldn't leave. It would look bad for court. So I got in my mind I was at least going to finish the detox. 14 days was their methadone protocol, whatever, detox. So I was like, I'm going to do this for 14 days. I did get better in the sense of, like, mentally, I became more with it every day that I was in there. Because obviously, like, you know, the meth was wearing off, the drugs were wearing off. I was, like, mentally coming back. I wasn't really sleeping, but I was still, like, improving for sure. So they were, like, noticing that I was improving. They're like, oh, it's working, you know, like, you should stick it out and stay or whatever. But, like, I knew what was right for me, man. I knew I had to get the fuck out of there. I need to get back on Suboxone. And like, because, dude, I knew that even if I was there for another 30 days and they had me, you know, totally sober or whatever for those 30 days, as soon as I got out, I was going to get high. There's no way, man. Like, I know myself, and they were setting me up basically to die, like to overdose, right? You come out and you're totally clean. You got no opiates in the system whatsoever, and you go back to doing what you're doing. That's how people die, man. That's how I've had friends die. I'm sure a lot of you know people have died this way. It's fucking tragic, but I wasn't going to be me. I said, no, it's not going to be me. I ain't doing this shit. So basically, after pressing, finally got to call my girlfriend, now my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not fucking staying here. And she fucking picked me up, which is dope, right? That's pretty clutch. So she picked me up and fucking got out of there. Like I said, I got back on Suboxone and it ended up staying clean, and it worked out. And I still, to this day, sometimes I think about, I want to call back that rehab and be like, hey, fuck you, man. I ended up, I made it. I didn't need your stupid 30-day program. But I mean, actually, I did relapse again after this time. And I got a whole nother rehab story too. But that's for another time. That one's even crazier. I'm not going to lie. It involves this like monster named Dunstan. Ugh, that's just, we'll get to that another time though. That's a fantastic story. The point of this story though, methadone, it's fucking bullshit. They try and put you on these tapers, these protocols, cookie cutter, like for every single person that walks in the door. It makes zero sense. They don't take your situation into account whatsoever. They just put you on this fucking protocol and then, that's it. Stupid, doesn't make any sense. You got to do what works for you. And at the end of the day, you got to stick up to these doctors and be like, no, I'm not fucking doing this, right? So, I feel, good about it too, because like I said, when I got out and I went back to my Suboxone doctor that I had known before and was treating me before, like the relapse, whatever, he told me, man, like they tried to put me on all these crazy psych medications, like all these anti-seizure medications, like all this shit that like I didn't need. It was fucking with my head and it was making me worse, So, imagine if I had stayed there for another 30 days after those 14 and stayed on those meds the whole time. I would have become like dependent on all those crazy fucking meds. I would have a hard time coming off. They would have fucked me up so bad, man. So the moral of the story is, don't always listen to these fucking doctors. You gotta watch out for your own health, okay? Take your health in your own hands. You know what works for you. But at the end of the day, you gotta stick to it, though. Because fucking addiction's a demon. We all deal with it. If you're probably watching this, you probably deal with it. So you know what I'm saying. It's a fucking demon. Every day, every day is a victory that we're not dead. So find something that works for you and stick with it. So that's it, guys. See you next time. Subscribe.